some way they're going to crack down on it. I saw that.
And I've heard of groups putting in sound detection. If it, certain decibels go over the.
I heard Scottsdale's now requiring background checks and screening for the.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Break It Down with Braydon. I got Ron Pacioni on with me today. Ron,
how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure.
Hey, there you go. Ron's an agent or one of the members of the K Grant Group. Been with them for a couple of years now.
Yeah, just over 2 years.
Yeah. And just rocking and rolling out in the real estate world. And wanted to have him on just to kind of chat it up a little bit and kind of talk about the market and the industry. And
sounds good.
Yeah. So give everybody a little bit of background about yourself and kind of how you got into the business.
Well, I started way back. I've been in the real estate business my whole life. My father had a brokerage, and I got my license very early on. And we did development work. We built lofts. We built the stadium lofts in downtown Phoenix. We did golf courses, hotels, you name it, we built it.
Yep.
At one time, I actually owned the corner of Scottsdale Road and Indian School. And in fact, the project that is there on the southwest corner, it's a restaurant and coffee shop now.
Yep.
I had that building designed.
Oh, no way.
So I flipped it.
Huh.
And I was going to have a restaurant there.
Okay.
And passed it on.
Yeah.
But, it was my corner.
What restaurant is there now?
I think it's a sandwich shop and a smoothie shop.
Okay.
And but it was going to be a Yoshi's because I had owned Yoshi's early on.
Yep.
And so I had parallel tracks. I was doing real estate and flipping homes. I did a couple flips. And at the same time, I bought a French restaurant called Coup d'Etat and did that for 13 years, something like that.
Coup d'Etat.
Coup d'Etat. Central Court. It's very well known.
Yep.
And had blast doing that. And hospitality is my thing. I love cooking. I love entertaining. So I got to have a party every night, basically.
Yep.
And but doing real estate on the side, and then so going into the pandemic, I was like, I'm done with hospitality. So I went full bore into real estate, and I've loved it. I mean, I've got a great partner, Julie Jomralowski. We're a great team, and concentrating on the luxury market. And, of course, the K Grant Group is phenomenal. We have every tool at our disposal.
Yep.
And, the market's just crazy right now. But I think it's a great time for agents to assess their business and learn how to actually work the business instead of, working the avalanche of leads that were coming at them before.
Yep. What have you changed the most, or what's the biggest change?
Follow up.
Yep.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Before it was just so much. You just had to wait, time off. You have to tell our lead source that's enough. We just had to put it on pause.
Yeah.
Now we have some good leads, and we had to work them and whatnot, and just figure out, how we're going to farm now, all those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're doing a lot more like client appreciation events, and you did that awesome community event at your own community. That was a lot of fun. Cooked the brisket for everybody.
22-pound brisket, mac and cheese. I did Brussels sprouts, and what else did I do? That was great.
It was really good.
Coleslaw.
Yep, that's right.
Great.
Yep.
I did it all. So it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
And we had like 40 people there.
I was gonna say, it seemed like it was more than that even.
Yeah,
it was the whole community.
Maybe
coming
yeah.
together.
And then the SpaceX, of course, launched right in the middle of
Yep.
it. So
that was very nice of you to have that.
Yeah. Elon and me.
Good touch. Good touch. How did you find the K Grant Group?
Google.
Okay.
And I had to fight to get in there because I kept reaching out via text, and nobody would call me back. And I went to the office, and of course it was at the time we were at the
Industrious
there at the mall, and I couldn't get in, right? I'm like, these people don't want me.
I need a key card to get into the building.
Right.
I can't get a text back.
It was terrible, but God provided the path for me, and I just went in, and finally they called me back, and it's history.
Yeah. Why the K Grant Group?
I just felt it right.
Yeah.
I really, they were the first and only call I made.
Okay.
I saw their stuff online.
Okay.
It looked different.
Yep.
And I knew I wanted to be part of a team because I didn't want to be on my own.
Yep.
And it just felt right. I just felt right immediately.
Yeah.
And we have a great bunch of agents and great support and great tools.
Yeah.
Really some of the best tools I've seen. We have phenomenal printing for our agents, just top notch.
Yeah.
Just, it's amazing.
This market from when you got started?
From when I got started in 2007?
Yep.
Well, it's actually going back to a normal market. The last 2 years is, not reality.
Yep.
And, I just did a Instagram post with, telling people to calm down because, the media is like, oh, it's, there's 60% listings. I'm like, well, of course there's 60% more listings. We had no listings last year at this time.
Right.
So just keep things in perspective, use your mind instead of your emotions on what's going on. Who knows what's going to happen in the future, but I think we can safely say unfortunately, the economy is not doing great. And when that happens, interest rates sort of come back down.
Yep.
So I'm looking at the first quarter of next year, interest rates backing off. And I think we see a soft part of the market at about 5%. I think the last time the rates dropped at 5%, there was a rush of people out.
Yep.
And I think that's where they're sitting. But really, with today's 3-2-1 buy downs and the incentives that are that the sellers are giving, you can get that 5% or 6% loan right now.
Yep.
You just have to go for it.
Yeah.
And I always say, refinance, buy the house, refinance, because when they do dip to 5%, there's not going to be any homes on the market, and they're going to get chopped up, and we're going to be off to the races again.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be right back to where it was.
So if you can afford it, buy it, and then refinance in a year.
Yeah, I agree. You obviously have been really involved in terms of the community as well. Can you talk a little bit about kind of some of the different stuff you've been doing? I know you're heavily involved with the Italian Association.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Talk a little bit about the event you guys just hosted.
I'm part of the advisory board to the Italian Association of Arizona. We are a cultural centered organization. We're trying to find a place to create a little Italy.
Yep.
Or something like that, right? The Italian community here is spread out, right? It's not like Chicago and New York where it all centered in one area, because that's how Phoenix, we were all spread out. Yep. So it's spread out. But we want to create a nice centered location. But we just did a Italian festival on the Riverwalk in Scottsdale there. It was fabulous. Although it rained on Saturday on and off, it kept some people away, but we ended up, the numbers was pretty impressive what we did, and we're happy with what happened. We'll be having another one in March, downtown Phoenix.
Cool.
And that should be a blast as well.
Yeah, love it. What's that one going to be?
I'm sorry?
What's that one going to be?
It's Italian festival. Okay. I mean, we'll have Italian dancers, the food, of course, wine. Got to have the wine.
Yep.
And different vendors, and just cultural.
Kind of the similar thing.
Similar, just different.
Downtown.
Yeah.
Got it.
Downtown Phoenix.
Very cool. How's the hospitality world kind of played into the real estate world?
Well, I think hospitality in sales, the way I look at it is, real estate is, I don't look at it as transactional.
Okay.
I look at it as relationship building. And so every time I meet a new client, I'm meeting a new friend. At least I look at it that way. Yeah. And that's how hospitality is. I was always there at the restaurant, and I created hundreds and thousands of new friends, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I always looked at it, and that's how I look at the real estate business.
Yeah, no, it's well put. I mean, when people go into a restaurant, a lot of times they're like, "Oh, where's Ron?" or whatever. They get to know a server or a bartender or whatever. And
we were very hands-on that way.
Yeah,
I insisted on a family country style French concept.
Okay,
and so
yeah, I know you've been doing a lot of video.
Yeah, Instagram.
Yeah,
a lot of just trying to. I do some funny ones and some regular tips, real estate tips. They say you got to have a digital presence.
Yep.
So
no, I want to compliment you because it's you're always kind of trying to educate people and let people know what's going on in the market, and I feel like it's been really useful, and hopefully that your demographics are kind of picking up a bunch of little tidbits from you, and
I hope so.
And learning
that's
a lot.
For.
Yeah. And I feel like you're not scared to give your opinion too, which I appreciate because a lot of people are in this day and age, and they're scared that if I talk about how interest rates are going to go down the first quarter, and if they don't go down the first quarter, everyone's going to lose their mind. Well, you just gave your opinion.
Yeah.
It's not like you're saying this is fact. This is what
I don't
think.
have a crystal ball,
Yep.
but I can just look at historical trends like everybody else,
Yep.
and I'm gonna give my best guess.
Yeah.
When somebody asks me what do I think, what's going to go on, or what I should do, I'm like, this is my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason or no fact in terms of what's going on in the market right now. It's just everyone kind of has an idea,
Right.
like you said, over the past experiences and what the historical trends have been, and there's no crystal ball out there, like you said. I mean, some people I guess might know a little bit more than others, but the general public interest rates are kind of what's driving this.
That's all it's driving it.
Yep.
Because we do have a lot of pinned up demand.
Yep.
And what's driving is back in 2016, the Arizona legislature and the governor passed some laws that allowed corporations to move to Arizona and have tax incentives, right? Well, those companies are now coming here in droves.
Yep.
And it takes time to turn those big ships around to right now, and they're landing here. You're seeing, of course, the chip manufacturers moving here, and the electric car, manufacturers.
Yep.
And you're seeing, well, they say that in 5 years, Arizona is going to be the world's largest manufacturer of semiconductors.
I believe it.
And so that alone, with the offset, all the suppliers, and it helps our economy. Back in 2008, everybody said, 2008. It's not 2008. Our economy is so different than 2008 in general.
Yep.
We are so, our employment base is so wide compared to what it was in 2008. So we are going to weather whatever storms come in our way a lot better. We have so many more jobs. We used to have the 5 C's. Now we have 2 more,
Yep.
chips and cars. So I think Arizona's future is bright, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's with Taiwanese semiconductor plant coming in. I don't know how many times we've talked about that on this podcast, but it is just huge for Arizona.
Huge.
And right now, I think it's like phase 1 of 6 or 4 or something like that I've heard, and it's just...
I drove by. There are 34 cranes on site. 34 cranes.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I think although the contractors in the state are not happy because they're using up all the concrete.
Yep. I've heard a lot of complaints about that. So. Yeah, they're like, we're on the wayside, just waiting to get a little bit of supply of some concrete, just of our little tiny job that's like a rollover decimal for their job. Like, yep, sorry, we're going to take all of it.
All of it.
Yeah. What other things do you predict kind of on the horizon for the real estate market?
Wow. I think I see a rent-to-own.
Yep.
Is coming up. Interesting concept. The builders will always morph. Business will always morph. That's about what you need to do.
Yeah.
You need to change yourself or you sink. I unfortunately see a lot of agents falling out.
Yep.
They realize, oh my gosh, I have to work. I have to do something other than just have a deal land in my lap and close it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm curious how many weekend warriors are going to be letting it go.
And that's okay. I mean, we've done this. I mean, like I said, I've been in. My father said, I like chicken and I like steak, but I like steak better. And I had both. So, yeah. And I think we go through this every 5 years or so. We've had the,
I think it's good in a lot of ways. I think there was a lot of friends, and I guess it's sad for some friends that recently got into the industry, but there's a lot of friends that got into the industry that saw a lot of their friends making a lot of money and thought that it was really easy. Especially seeing that a lot on the mortgage side right now. That's been kind of sad to see, actually, on the mortgage side, is how many people got into it in the last 2 years thinking that the refi boom was going to last forever, and just calling all their friends and family and getting them to refinance their loans and stuff. But now the refis have pretty much dried up. It's pretty much non-existent. I think we get like maybe one a week right now, or it used to be like 3, 4, 5 a day.
Sure.
So it's kind of it's a little brutal out there right now for the industry, but it's not a bad thing. I think.
Over the last 5 years, and this back to the interest rates. Over the last 5 years, over the last 30 years, we had 5 recessions. And every time the recession has hit, interest rates went down. Okay? So, again, I am only looking at historical trends.
Yep.
When I say that, I think that rates will come down next year.
Yeah, I agree. What other stuff? So, the K Grant Group. Talk a little bit more about them.
Like I said, what a great group of people. We have people who specialize in 55 plus. We have people who specialize in the luxury community, Julie and I.
Yep.
We have, such a wide berth of talent. It really is a great launching pad for a career.
Yeah.
And if you're really looking for a team, K Grant's it. I mean, we support as much as possible the agent.
Yep.
I mean, we have some agents that rely on all of it, and we have the other agents that are just do their own thing and just like being part of the team, but don't really participate much. So it's like a team buffet, right? I'll take a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
I like that.
Yeah.
No, I see that with the team for sure, because there's so much support that you guys do for one another, just between all the events that you guys are always hosting.
Always.
Everyone's always at everyone else's event, supporting everybody. It's just a little close-knit group.
Yeah, I think that's how it should be, right? But it's just been a very positive experience.
Yeah. What other predictions you got for the market?
What else? I don't know. Just it's going to be next year will be a little bit tough.
Yep.
I think realigning people's expectations. That's one of the hardest things, is getting the buyers to realize, okay, the values aren't there anymore.
Yep.
I see the internet companies losing way more money than they have lost already.
The iBuyers.
Yeah, the iBuyers are just eating in the shorts, and they should.
Yep. I agree.
They really, in my opinion.
Well, they were one of the big factors why the market went just gangbusters and just through the roof, because they're putting in offers that were just so ridiculous. You're just like, okay, how are you going to actually make money on this? And I heard that they were kind of cooking in the next couple months interest or appreciation to make their offer. And so it's like, okay, well, today it's worth 100. I'll offer 110 because in the next 3 months it's going to go up 10% or whatever was kind of their predictions. And
right. It's not good. It's just not good.
Yeah.
What else? Short-term rentals. I think that's here to stay.
Yep.
Scottsdale has got a handle of it, and I think it's good. I think there's a happy median there.
Yeah, did you see all the changes that are getting done now?
Mm-hmm. I think that, I have friends who have young kids.
Yep.
Well, right? You're travel and you're going to have 2 small ones. You don't want to stay in a hotel.
Yep.
You're going to want to stay in a house where you're comfortable, you have space. The kids, when they're upset, you're not upsetting other, people around you.
Yep.
So that is not changing. But I think there has to be some rules in place to control the rowdiness of some unfortunate guests.
Yeah. What did Scottsdale just come up with? It's 3 couple maximum with 6 kids.
Yes, and they have a police force that just is dedicated to
short-term rentals.
Short-term rentals.
Is that right?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that if they're coming up with all these new rules, they had to have some way of they're going to crack down on it. I saw that.
And I've heard of groups putting in sound detection. If it certain decibels go over the.
I heard Scottsdale's now requiring background checks and screening for the child. What's the word I'm thinking on? Child
sex
offender list.
Sex offender list. There's also a gizmo you can put in that detects how many phones are in the house.
Huh.
So if there's, you say, okay, there can only be 10 people in the house.
Yeah.
It's a big house.
Why is there 30 phones in the house?
Why is there 30 phones in the house?
Huh. I haven't heard that one. That's a new one.
So there's all kinds of tools.
Yep.
Owners can use to protect their investment. And really, that's what it is, right? It's an investment.
Yeah.
And then you want to also protect your neighbors. And again, I get it. I wouldn't want to be next to a house that has people all the time.
Right. Constant party after constant party.
Again, there's a happy medium there.
Yeah. Yeah. In some factors, it definitely helps the neighborhood because they're getting exorbitant rents, and then it's able to drive up property values because they're able to show how much money they're making on the rentals. And so, yeah, it's definitely a give and take kind of.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And so, when one of those sells, typically it's not selling the house; it's selling a business.
Right.
So, but when you look at on the MLS, it doesn't show it's selling a business, right?
Yep.
You're buying a house, so all of a sudden your values are, like you said, going up.
Yeah.
So the STRs are here, I think, to stay. Too much tax revenue is being generated for the cities from it, but they do need to get a handle on it. And like I said, Scottsdale's doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Scottsdale and PV will kind of set the precedent for everybody, and then they'll also kind of fold as they kind of continue. But I feel like Phoenix will probably be the last one just because it's such a big market. And
it's so huge.
Yeah, there's just so many properties in there. And I mean, I'm sure it's probably, I don't know the stat, I could throw something random out there, but I'd say it's probably 70% of the short-term rentals in Arizona. Just how big Phoenix is. But
now these STR investors are getting smart.
Yep.
They're buying whole neighborhoods.
Yep.
Like a small cul-de-sac, and there's 5 houses, and now that's all STRs. Or they're building brand new condominiums.
Yep.
Right.
Condo complexes
and
just
the whole
for that.
and it's all STR.
Yep.
And so they're not going to have to be worried about upsetting the neighbor next door because they're in
another rental too.
A rental. So
yeah, they're throwing a party also.
So I think that's a smart move. And again, like I said, business will find a way.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a water leak.
Yeah.
It's going to find a way through. Those are good things that are happening in the market. And what's happening now with it normalizing, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It wasn't a good thing the last 2 years for anybody.
Yep.
I mean, it was fighting to get a deal done, having to put so much money over ask, and it just wasn't fun.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny because the people I have on here I respect and I believe are educated in the space, and obviously you're one of them. And the amount of people that I have commenting on these posts, though, that are talking about it's not a balanced market, it's crashing, everything's going down. Tell people to stop lying. Tell people to be honest. It's going down. It's not.
It's not.
It's the inventory has kind of balanced itself out. I
think we have 21,000 active and coming soon, and that has been 21,000 plus for like a month.
Right. Yeah, and then even before that, I mean, it went up, but it was climbing fast there for a little while, but now it's stopped.
Yeah, it was $1,000 homes a week.
Yep.
I was watching, and then it settled in about 19,000, and now it's last, like I said, about a month, 6 weeks ago. And now it's settled into about 21,000.
Yeah. So
Since
we've got
then,
3-4 months of inventory. It's pretty balanced. If you're talking about a balanced market, it's 3 to 6 months of inventory.
I just put a piece of property, a North Central redevelopment project in escrow for $700,000.
Yep.
And they were asking $750,000. They were asking $8 million. So we just backed off $50,000. That's nothing.
Right. Yeah.
It's nothing.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's not even 10%.
No.
Yeah, it's I haven't seen, because I run the weekly stats, I haven't seen like the median sales price go down from under last year's. It's definitely trickled down, but it's not like it's drastically falling. And I feel like it's a lot of the properties that are kind of run down, haven't been fixed up, and those are the ones sitting on the market, where the ones that are still updated are still flying off the shelves.
Or priced improperly.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
And again, that goes back to the owner's expectations.
Yep.
And that goes up to really us as the agents to set the tone for our sellers.
Yeah.
And, realistically, you're not going to be able to get that price that you really wanted because Harry got it, 6 months ago.
Right.
That's not there anymore.
Yeah, comps are actually a thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to like, oh yeah, well neighbor done get 650, so now we should listen
Now
for 750.
now you have to worry about your house
Right.
appraising. So before it was like, oh, it's going to go.
Yep. Yeah, that had to be an interesting job as an appraiser at that time. That's for sure. Like, how do you? Oh yeah, 100,000 over asking price is what they went with. Okay, well, yeah, I don't know if that really makes sense, but sure, here's the value.
Yeah.
Again,
that was.
I think it's weird that appraisers get contracts. Not to get off on a different tangent, but I think that they shouldn't be supplied the contract. It should be, okay, let's actually come up with a value as opposed to, okay, let's look at the contract and kind of come up with the value off of the contract that they already know the sales price on. Like, that's clearly going to weigh in their decision of the price.
Sure.
And although, like, yes, that is someone is willing to pay that. So yes, that could be the appraised value, because at the end of the day, it's what
the
someone's
buyer and
willing
the
to
seller
pay.
willing to pay.
But at the end of the day, I feel like it's his opinion for a reason, and weighing off of the sales price seems to be a way to skew that opinion for sure. But
no, there's good ones and bad ones.
Yes, there are.
Just like in real estate business, I always say there's deal makers and deal breakers, right?
Like that.
I'm a deal maker.
Yep.
I will do everything I can to protect my client, but to make the deal happen, right?
Yep.
But there are those agents out there that will get in their way and find every reason why to fumble the deal.
Yep.
And they're happy with it. I want the seller to be happy. I want the buyer to be happy. And I'm just very good that way.
Yeah. Someone looking for real estate, why should they work with Ron?
Because I'm a good guy.
Love it.
No, I mean, experience. I can talk just one-on-one and on a normal level. It's a relationship business, and I think once you get to know somebody, you can trust them. And I don't expect you to look at my 5-star reviews and, oh, he's a great guy. He goes out. That's a good thing. That's all a tool in our toolbox.
Yep.
But it's this right now, right? That's what I believe real estate's about.
Yep. Yeah, making those connections and providing value and educating.
Exactly.
I think that's where you've really kind of stood out in my eyes, is you're really good at educating your clients.
Trying.
I feel like that's imperative, especially in today's market.
So changes so quickly.
Yep.
And but I think it's with everything changing so quickly, we have to stay on top of things, and it's something I enjoy doing. Educating. Yep. Teaching.
It seems like you've gotten kind of your mold into it now. At least you're comfortable on Instagram and stuff, and putting yourself on video. And there's been some other agents in your office that have complimented on how well you've done with that, and how you could just kind of put the phone up and start recording.
I realized, well, the first thing was getting used to yourself on the camera, because
no one likes themselves
I
on the
don't look
camera.
like that. That's not me. But it is you.
Yep.
And that's how everybody sees
I sound
you.
like that?
So, but I guess, after following, now you have to follow, this is Instagram advisor, and that's normal.
Yep.
It's a normal thing for people to go through.
Yep.
And so I've enjoyed the process. I've enjoyed doing the tips and the funny videos, and it's just something.
Yeah. For everyone who wants to follow you or get a hold of you, how can they reach you?
K Grant Group, Ron at Ron at KG Lux. Let's try that again. Ron at KAY-GRANT.com.
There you go.
And 602-574-9587.
What's your Instagram handle?
It's Real Estate Ron AZ. That's real_estate _Ron AZ.
Perfect. Love it. Ron, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And thanks for sticking around for another episode of Break It Down with Braydon. Stick around. More to come. Thanks, guys.